messieurs, il est temps de passer à l'interview.
C'est vrai.
On va recevoir Rekles.
Parce que là, il parlait, il disait
plateau.
Oh, Rekki
Hello Martin, long
C'est
time
la
no
première
see,
fois, non, sur mon
mate.
TP.
How are
Ouais.
you? How are you after this win and after this final game of the regular season?
Honestly, I feel very relieved because it was a tough split actually with a lot of good teams, and it's just like it's a great relief to get top 2 and to qualify for the upper bracket and also EU Masters because I just think it was like a lot of tough games, and you could see now towards the end as well so many good teams next to each other, so it's nice to be ending on top of all of that.
Did you expect the game to be that tough in LFL going into the split? I mean, did you expect all these opponents to be that good?
I mean, looking at the rosters, I feel like actually I'm not that surprised. I think there's so many good players actually in LFL, and it seems like everyone's taking it really serious and really trying hard to make something out of this split. So I feel like a 12-6 record and ending top 2 is it's a really nice thing for us, and I'm super happy that we managed to do it.
On a personal level, so what do you think about your split in LFL and your progression between the start, which was rough for K-Cup, and the end of the split where you kind of win, except for 2 games, but you won kind of everything. So what's your take on your progression during this split?
I think I just didn't like the thing is going into the split. I feel like all of us just kind of thought maybe this is gonna be like an easy thing for us. Like again, looking at the rosters and stuff, there were a lot of good players and a lot of good teams, so we shouldn't really have thought that. But I feel like we didn't really put that extra effort in the beginning, and then when we started losing, that's when we really came together, and the whole NIST thing as well really like put us and made us a team. I think put us in a good place. So I feel like ever since then we've just been like pretty much on the same page always with what we want to draft and how we want to play. And sure, we had like 2 losses, but I think even in those games we had a really clear idea of what we wanted to do and kind of just failed on the execution. It wasn't a thing of us being like on different pages or wanting to do different things. So I feel like we're actually like, we're a really good team now, and I think going into playoffs and going into EU Masters, we should be like one of the stronger ones.
Yeah, we also believe that, and it's clear that K-Cup now has this clear identity. Marek, you have a question?
First, congratulations on the, as you said, qualification for upper bracket, EU Masters and stuff. I wanted to know, I had a more meta-oriented question. I wanted to know if you enjoyed the meta with the melee support on melee champion supports on the bot lane, the Jinx Aphelios stuff, the Zeri now, and if you were like happy about the changes that were coming since Riot announced the patch with Lucian, Ash buff, and stuff like that.
Honestly, I don't think this meta suits me very well. I feel like I'm much better when I can be supportive. I think you can kind of see it as well in how we want to play the game. We're very topside oriented, and I think it would suit much better if I could play something like Senna, something like the Ashe, maybe something like the Varus. I think I'm kind of more of a supportive AD carry than anything else. I think I'm good at hyper carry, and I can be like that Jinx for your team. But I think looking at like how this whole split has kind of been for us, the best version of us would be me on a supportive AD carry. So I think it's a good thing that this patch is coming, because then that might open up options for us instead of being stuck in this Zeri, Aphelios, and Jinx triangle that's been now for a while.
So a lot of good things might come for K-Cup. That's the big news. And I wanted to know, Martin, because all your years in LEC, we saw a lot of TP on your lane. But in this year, the TP changed. Do you miss all those fights during the first level of the game and all those TPs coming into the lane and those big fights during the first minutes of the game?
Yeah, for sure. I feel like the games are kind of slow. I think we sort of broke that a little bit by playing early game mids at some point during the split when Sakin was playing, for example, Aurelion and LeBlanc and TF. Then we really kind of broke this, how do you say, slow kind of League of Legends that's being played right now, when we were roaming a lot from mid and making plays on the side lane. And I just think it's more fun to play when something is happening all the time. So now in the last couple of weeks when we played more of that slow game, I think it's been hard to kind of show how good you are. Even like for the others in my team, I feel like we're all really good, but we can't really show it because the game is so slow, and we just have like 1 or 2 team fights maybe in a game where you can maybe skill express, but other than that, it's a lot of farming and a lot of just waiting for, I guess, drakes and stuff. So I want us to play more early game if we can, and I want there to be more action in the game if there could be, because I think that's when we can really show how good we are and how good everyone like is actually playing in our team.
And that's the case of Seiken. You told us you talked about his Aurelion, his LeBlanc. He took the MVP in this game, not with an early game champ. Finally, it was a victor, but you agree you prefer him on this kind of early game champs.
I mean, honestly, looking at this game, and I also had an Asir game, I think, against Game Ward last week when I wasn't playing too well. he can play everything. Like, you put him on a late game carry or an early game carry, he'll do really well. I guess that's why he's the best in the league so well. So, it doesn't really matter what he plays, but if I could choose, I think it's better for us to play early game because we
Attends, on entend rien, voilà, on entend rien, voilà, on entend rien, mettez-vous si vous rigolez, ouais.
and with it, I think. So I just like more when he's playing early game because he can really then also show, like, you saw some of his like Aurelion games, LeBlanc games, and he's really popping off. And in this game, sure, he's having a good game, but it's hard to see it, I feel like, and hard for him to really show it as well. So I think just playing early game is a better way to, get to use our skills in this team.
I'm sure the coaching staff of the K-Corp likes to hear all those things, because Striker and Rhea they die for early game, you know, and seeing you agreeing with them is pretty big actually, and that's the thing actually. Do you think that you were an early game player during your career? Or more like a scaling player, or how would you define yourself actually? Because you are playing for early game most of the time with K-Corp, but do you think that was always the same thing during your career?
I don't think I've ever really been an early game player. I think I'm good in lane. I actually think I've always been kind of good in lane, but I've never been oppressive, I think, as some other players have been. For example, when I played against Forgiven and Uzi and Gumayushi, I realized these guys are oppressive, and I am not. So it's not really the same sort of vibe, I think, but I would say I'm just much more of a smart player, like pretty involved in what's going on in the game, and I think I can easily set up plays for my teammates instead of making them myself. Like maybe I can set up a way for Saken to come on, and I can maybe like move to Herald and help out there, but I don't think I'm necessarily like making advantages by myself. I'm more setting it up for my teammates. And that's why I think Saken, an early game champ, is really nice, because he can then take over from there.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Martin, thank you for all these answers. Do you want to say something? Maybe before we let you celebrate this win?
I guess just thanks for everything this split. Like I didn't really know what to expect coming into it. I thought maybe, you know, it's not going to be the same as it is in LEC, but I honestly feel like it's just as good here. So I'm super happy to have been a part of this. And again, to be top 2 at the end of this, I feel like it was actually like a lot of tough games to play, a lot of good teams to face. So I'm really happy that we managed to get top 2. And I hope that we can just come together for playoffs now, play really well, and make France proud, I guess, in new Masters.
I'm pretty sure we will be proud of K-Corp and of you, of course, Martin. We love to see you here. Thank you for your time, and well, get some rest, prepare for the playoff, because there is a lot of games coming. See you, Martin.
Thank you, Martin.
See you guys later.
See you.
Thank you, man.
See you. Ciao,
Love
ciao.
you, Rekky.
Donc voilà, REKKLES, donc pas mal de choses.
Désolé les gars, on a eu un
Il a l'air
fou
de
rire.
se plaire dans ce style